Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you in your different time zones around the world and across the country. Here we are once again. It's another Thursday during the week. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's Friday morning in London at 1 a.m., 3 a.m. in Israel, and it's 9 a.m. in Tokyo, Japan. And we're here once again. Thank you one and all for coming to another edition of Talk Back Live. This is a show where we get together each week at this time and we bring you conversation and we get you involved in conversation too. We're coming to you live from New York City. That's where we originate, and you can catch us anywhere around the world. It doesn't matter where you are because we're live, we're global, we're all around the world. All you have to do is get to a spot where there's a great hot spot and great Wi-Fi, and you can get us anywhere you are. But in the meantime, while you're getting all together, we want to tell you more about the show. Those of you who have been around with us for a long time, you already know the score. Some people come along and they're here for the very first time and never heard of us. So let us introduce ourselves to you. We are going to be here, as I said, for a whole hour. Talk Back Live is a program. We get you involved in conversation, and for you to get involved, all you have to do is use your fingers on your keyboard, type in whatever you want to talk about, and of course, we'll see you right there on the big screen. We'll acknowledge you. And of course, if there's something special you like to talk about, anything at all, it doesn't have to be confined to what we're talking about, but if you just want to chime in and talk about anything, let us know, and we'll do our best to get everybody involved, and everybody can get involved with your conversation as well. Just follow those keyboards and click onto it, and it'll be right there for you. We're coming to you in 3 different places too. We're live on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we're on Instagram as well. So any one of those 3 platforms will get you there, and you can do that each week. And those of you who are watching us on Facebook, I always tell you that you can tag your friends right now. As a matter of fact, that's what I would love you to do to get them involved in a conversation as well. Tag your friends, if not all, at least some, a select few. And if you have too many to tag, do some each week at a time. Tag some now, then as time goes on, each week you tag a few more, and tag a few more, because the more the merrier. They'll see that tag, they'll know it's from you, they'll trust you, they'll click onto that tag, and it brings them directly to us with no problem. Okay, so do that right now. We really would appreciate that. The more the merrier. And those of you who are watching us on YouTube, well, I always encourage you to go onto our YouTube channel, right? You onto our YouTube channel? Well, we want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's simple. All you have to do is take your mouse, drag it over there. The arrow points to where it says subscribe, click onto it, and that's all it takes. There's no money involved. You don't have to do anything special. Just click on. That's all it takes, is just one little click, and you're right there. And the reason why we would like you to do that, first of all, we would like to see how many people are really following us and how many people are behind us each week. Not only that, you get the opportunity to know whenever we come on live, or even if we so much as post a video, you get instant notification providing you're online. And then all you have to do is click onto that notification, and it brings you right to the YouTube channel. So please do that. And there's a way to tag your friends on that as well. All you have to do is just cut and paste, right? Cut and paste. Cut and paste our link, right? Cut and paste a link and post it to everyone, and they'll follow you right there. And the same thing goes for Instagram. You don't have to do anything special, but just tell your family and friends about us and keep them in on the action. And again, you can do the same thing. You can cut and paste the link and send them to as many of those friends that you would like, and they'll see it and they'll click onto it, and it automatically brings them right here. So that's where we stand right now. We've got so many things to talk about and so many things to do today on the show. As I said, you can get involved in the show, and of course, we'll talk about anything that you want to talk about. Also, right throughout the show, we have our regular routine. Now, not far from right now, in a few minutes from now, Brian Camp is going to be along. We're going to link up with him. Personally, we're going to link up with him. He's coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina. So we go from New York to Charlotte. He's going to bring us the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. Pretty sure he has a lot to talk about in the world of sports. This is the season where sports, it's abundant and there's something to talk about. We've got a lot of things coming up. Baseball is in action, and then we're talking about the draft and football and all of that. Everything is coming up. And plus, later on in the summer, we have the Summer Olympics coming along in Paris. And of course, he'll talk more about that too. A lot of people are going to be involved in that. And so please, he'll be around and you'll get a chance to see him right there on the screen if you're watching us on Facebook and YouTube. But it's not the same with Instagram because we don't have that luxury. You'll hear him, but you won't see him. But you could still talk to him if you have any sports related questions for Brian. Of course, he'll be able to answer the questions for you. And if he doesn't have the answers, he'll get it. He'll get it. And he may not answer the question at this particular night, but maybe another time, but he'll get the answers for you. It's all sports related. And remember that all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, Talk Back Lives, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinion of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media outlet or broadcast facility. So we got all of that out of the way. And so we're getting into the meat of the program right now. And we thank you all for being here. And as I said, it's a whole full hour, all of us together. And here we are. We're still in the month of May. Summertime is right around the corner. We're still in the spring mode. And we look forward to a lot of things that are coming up. And since we are in the month of May, we'd like to tell you we're still celebrating a few things right now. The whole month of May up until the end, we are celebrating Jewish American Heritage Month. So all of my friends, my Jewish friends, we celebrate with you. You don't have to be Jewish to celebrate. You don't have to be Jewish to celebrate anything, just celebrate. So we celebrate that all month long. And those of you who may have activities going around in the Jewish community, we would love to know that. If you want to talk about history or anything like that, we would love to know that. We want to share all of that with our friends here who are watching us. And we'll be glad to do that for you too. And if you're in Washington, D.C., it's worth it to tell you that if you go there, please attend the Holocaust Museum. That's the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. You'll get a lot of information there, pretty sure. And, have the report on my desk when you come back and tell me what you learned. Also, we're celebrating Asian Pacific American Heritage Month as well. All of my Asian friends all around the world and in the communities, you have a lot of activities going on, I'm pretty sure. And you could do exactly the same thing I just told you. You can also get in contact with us right now. If you want to talk about history of the Asian community, or you have events that are coming up that's of interest to the Asian community, we'd be glad to hear from you on that. So please do that right away. We're also celebrating National Military Appreciation Month. And this is where we salute all of our military friends, people who have put themselves on the line for us, military people, past, present, and we even talk to the people who have aspirations of going into the military, volunteering, and to just to hold up the country and hold up all the people who are involved in the country. We thank you so much and we salute you because we put the emphasis on appreciation when it comes to the military. The Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, all of you guys, you've done a marvelous job over the years, and please don't stop now. If no one have ever told you that they really appreciate you, I think this is a good time for them to do it now. And it doesn't have to be just this month when we're celebrating it. It could be any time. You see a serviceman or a servicewoman, let them know how much you appreciate them. So we celebrate all of that. And you ought to know too that since we're talking about the military, this is a long weekend is upon us. We've got a long weekend on us. And that weekend is Memorial Day holiday weekend. Yes, that's coming up too. And of course, so we're celebrating National Military Appreciation Month along with this coming Monday. It's the Memorial Day holiday weekend. So those of you who normally work on Monday, you may have the luxury of taking off that day, and doing the activities that I guess one does. They go out and, heat up the grill, barbecue and all of that, sit back, relax and enjoy with a friend. That's okay too. That's okay too. But let's remember what Memorial Day is really all about, right? It's one of those things that we salute all of our brothers and sisters in the military, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Marines. All of you guys, you've done a marvelous job, and we salute you. All of that's coming up. We got a lot of things coming up too. Also, later on in the program, as usual, we give you this day in history. That's what we have, this day in history. I mentioned sports already. That's coming up too. I have this day in history, and that's something that we do. We talk about what happened. Now, something happened on this day in history, and this is the 23rd of May. And every day, something develops. And we have that information coming for you, a whole list of a lot of things that happened on this day in history. So that's coming up too. Now, this weekend is coming up too. And of course, along with celebrating that long weekend, you have a long weekend to even watch some of the movies that you haven't seen in a long time. You can do so much this weekend. It's a long weekend, and you can do so much. And one of the things that you may want to do is rack up on some of those movies you haven't seen in a long time. And that would be great. And, that's where I come in too, because I have my picks of the week. This is what I do each week. Each week, I go to Turner Classic Movies, and I pick out a few movies that I think that may be of interest to you, that I think you may like. There are a lot of movies, and they're classics. Some are black and whites, some are color, but I have those for you. We're going to tell you more about that later. And, you can share them with your family and friends as well. But all of that's coming up later right here on Talk Back Live. So we're talking to you. We thank you so much for being along. Again, we want to say hello to all of you who are watching right now, who have just chimed in. We want to say hello, and we want to wish you a long holiday. You're gearing up for that long holiday weekend, right? I know you are, right? But just keep in mind that the military is a thing that we ought to talk about, and we ought to relax with that. So hello, one and all. We've got it all planned for you right here on Talk Back Live. So many things to talk about. Here in New York, something, we had a storm. We had a storm. I mean, I woke up this morning and it was okay. I didn't think it was anything to worry about, but they had a storm, but in the New York metropolitan area, around in Midtown Manhattan, right, there wasn't much of it except for somewhere around, I guess, around 9:30 or something to 10 in the morning. The clouds got dark. It got real dark. It looked like it was like 9 o'clock in the evening, and it got so dark, and all of a sudden the skies opened up and rain was coming down. Now, on the outskirts of New York, outside of New York City, there was a lot of tragic things that happened. Trees tumbled and blocked roadways and things like that. Now, people who live in Manhattan don't really have the idea how bad it really is outside of Manhattan. So all we got was a lot of rain, a big downpour. And, it was, I think we got over it a little bit though, but I hope the weather is better off in your area, wherever you are right now, because we had it bad out here. It was really bad. But something, it's no use crying because the rain, we need it. Every once in a while we have to have it. And then after all of that rain, later on, the sun was busting out a little bit. It wasn't like a real bright sunshine. But it kind of bust out. So if you're living in New York City, ladies and gentlemen, you know that we're kind of past that now. We passed the worst of it all. I don't know how much more rain we've got to come along before the weekend, but I understand that most of the weekend is going to be good here in New York City. But I hear that they're going to have a little rain on Monday, on Memorial Day. But something, Mother Nature throws you a curveball every now and then. And so we're going to see what happens with that. We'll see what happens with that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Dabney Coleman. He's a veteran film and television actor known for his role in 9 to 5 and also Boardwalk Empire and Tootsie, has died last Thursday at his home in Santa Monica, California. And Austin, Texas native, Coleman studied law and served in the U.S. Army before pursuing a gig in acting. And his Hollywood career spanned decades, beginning in the early 60s up until the final credit in 2019, when he appeared on an episode of Yellowstone. Coleman was 92 years old. And sad news for all of you who watch CNN political commentator Alice Stewart died. And police told CNN that the Stewart's body was found outside of her home in Bellevue, the neighborhood of Virginia, last Saturday morning. And police said they believed they had been a medical emergency and that there was no foul play involved. She was 58 years old. I really loved watching her on CNN. She was only 58 years old. Okay, now it's time to go way over to Charlotte, North Carolina right now, because Brian Camp, as I promised you, is here with us. And he's here, and he's going to give us the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. You have any questions, feel free to ask, and you can do that right now. Hi, Brian. How are you? You better unmute your mic.
Bring questions. Bring the questions.
Bring the questions, he says. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're doing well. It's 79 degrees out here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, where we had warm, hot days today. You know, didn't reach 90s, but it's like all week has been in the high 80s, 88, 89. So couldn't wait to get home to put on my shorts. It was hot. It was hot. I'm glad that we had some pretty good weather. Still nice, 79 degrees outside. Hope everybody's doing well, who's tuning in globally, nationally, and locally. So I want to get to some sports right here on this here Thursday night. The Kansas City Chiefs in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs place kicker Harrison Butker gained national attention following his commencement address to in mid-May. This happened a couple of weeks back at the Benedictine Catholic Liberal Arts College in Atchison, Kansas. Now, he spoke about directly to women graduating, using his wife Isabel as an example. He notably argued that women have been told diabolical lies about prioritizing priority about a career advancement over motherhood, and suggesting that Pride Month celebrates as a deadly sin. Now, he also denounced abortions as well. Now he's a devoted Catholic who believes that Jews killed Jesus by crucifying him. Now, his commencement speech are targeted to queer folks, trans folks, and women with bitterness and hate. So that was a lot to dissect. He's, like I said, he's a devoted Christian from the Catholic faith. He was, why he did this. He was asked to do this because he plays in Kansas for the Kansas City Chiefs. And basically, he just gave his thoughts. He had a lot of the graduates had turned their backs to him, sitting down while he was giving the speech. The Kansas City Chiefs made a statement that we support our fellow teammate, but by saying that they don't agree everything that what he says, but he has a right to his opinion. You may not like it, but this is what's happening and everything. So I hope things could get resolved. The Kansas City Chiefs, like I said, they back him, but everybody don't agree with what he says and everything. It's just his opinion. They all say that he's a great guy, he's a nice guy, he's a fun guy to be with, but he has his own opinion. In Major League Baseball opened an investigation again into another allegations that former LA Dodger, LA Angel infielder David Fletcher gambled with an illegal bookie, but investigators face a significant hurdle at the start where they're going to get evidence. Now, Fletcher, who is currently playing for the Atlanta Braves AAA affiliate, bet on sports, but not on baseball with Matthew Boyer, the Southern California bookmaker, who took wages from Shohei Ohtani, longtime interpreter, Ippei Mizuhira. So again, here we are. We're in another situation where another player is involved with gambling, but they say he did not bet on his team. He did not bet on baseball. So we don't know the ins and outs. But here's the catch. Major League Baseball sources have said that if a player bet illegally, but not on baseball, it's likely he would receive a fine rather than a suspension. Big difference. You can pay a fine, whatever the fine is, and then everything is all forgotten. But if they find that he did, then he could get suspended and could lead to other things, suspended and fined as well. Any player connected to any betting on baseball could face up to a lifetime ban as well. So there you have it. Another story in Major League Baseball and Major League Baseball Players Association announced, that's the union, that they have expanded existing financial assistance programs to support living Negro League players. Players who played in fewer than 4 seasons in the Negro League will receive an annual financial benefit based on their time in the Negro League. Now, Major League Baseball said approximately 50 additional living players will benefit financially. So this is good because back in, I believe it was 1921 when they started the Negro League. It only lasted up until 1947, 1948, roughly around then. That's when Jackie Robinson and most of the players came out of the old Negro League. And so now Major League Baseball has taken their stats and put it along with them. So now they could now be part of all of baseball. That's why we have some of the Negro Leagues who are in Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. So there you have it. That's the little history. So in the NBA, we have the playoffs that's on. It's happening now. Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers are on. That's on ESPN. You can watch the rest of that on after Talkback Live. And in the Western Conference Finals, you have Game 1 that was played yesterday. The Dallas Mavericks was playing against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Mavericks lead the series 1-0, and also the Celtics lead their best of 7, 1-0 over Indiana. This day in sports, May 23rd, 1926, Chicago Cubs' Hack Wilson is first to hit a home run off of Wrigley Field scoreboard. That was some shot. That was a tape measure shot. 1948, Hall of Famer Joe DiMaggio hits 3 consecutive home runs as the New York Yankees defeated the Cleveland Indians 6-5. 1962, Joe Pepitone, second New York Yankee to hit 2 home runs in 1 inning. The first was to ever do it was Joe DiMaggio, Yankee Clipper. 1978, American League approves transfers of the Red Sox to Gene Yawkey for $15 million. And it's in 2018, the NFL owners approves players if on the field to stand for the national anthem. As you know, that was a big thing back then with Colin Kaepernick, who would not stand for the national anthem. He kneel in flight, and it was for social justice. It was a peaceful protest with him and some other players, but other people in other ethnic groups think that this is a disrespect to the American flag. No, it's not a disrespect to the American flag. We want, because I'm part of it too, just want equal justice. We just want to be treated equally, just like everyone else. But fortunately, we live in an era, still in an era where there's racial tension throughout the world, even in this country as well. Birthdays on this day. Happy birthday to the late Clyde King, was born in 1924, Major League Baseball pitcher, coach, manager, and executive, was born in Greensboro, North Carolina, 1952. Happy birthday to Marvelous Marvin Hagler, middleweight champion, was born in Newark, New Jersey, 1956. Happy birthday, Buck Showalter. Yes, Major League Baseball manager and analyst for ESPN and Yes Network, and was born in the Funniac Springs, Florida. The Funniac Springs, Florida. Got it right. And happy birthday to Aaron Donald, who just retired this past season in football. NFL defensive end and three-time the defensive player of the year, was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports.
I'll tell you what's a disrespect to the American flag, since you were on that subject. Putting on a flagpole upside down, that's disrespectful.
Yeah, one of the Chief Justice wife, as he puts it, was the one that did this. So
we'll call him Judge Alito. We'll call him out.
Yeah,
Judge Alito.
Yeah, now he's, I'm not saying he should be responsible for his wife's action, but she knows that her husband is a Chief Justice. It was a conflict between the neighbor. To my understanding, it was a conflict, and this is what had happened. So that's what happened. Hate to say, but that's what happened. So we don't know what the outcome is going to be. They're still investigating it, but that's a disrespect. Yeah, to the flag being upside down.
So the next time someone kneels at the flag at the national anthem, weigh the two together and find out which one is more disrespectful.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Hey, New York Knicks didn't do so bad. They didn't make it, but they hung in there like champs. Everybody.
Yeah, well, injuries caught up to them, and the way the Indiana Pacers were playing showed that pace was a part of their game, and the Knicks could not keep up with them. And injuries, I'm not going to make it excuses for injuries, but injuries did catch up with the Knicks. They were getting hurt a lot of the time, and they just couldn't stay with Indiana. Indiana won that game 7. Yeah. Spike Lee was all there. All the big stars was there in New York City watching that game 7. But maybe next year. Let's see what happens next year.
Seen a lot of people walk around in local areas wearing their Knick caps in support. And I'm not a Knick supporter. I mean, I like the Knicks. I like the Knicks, but I'm not. That's not my team. But I was rooting for them. I was hoping that they would get in there. They're New York, and I was hoping they would get in there, but it just didn't happen. So I don't know. But hey, I hate to say this because it's a cliche. There's always next year. It's always
cancer. Yeah.
And the New York Yankees are still in first place too. I have to say that. I have to put that out there too. They won their 7th in a row, but then the
Seattle Mariners, I think, snapped their winning streak.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When I saw something, I saw that game that they snapped. I saw that game, and basically that was the Yankees game, because at the end it was like a 4-0 score.
Right.
4-0 score, and then at the ninth, I think it was the top of the top of the I think it was the top of the 9th inning, the top of the 9th, and or the bottom of the 8th. I don't know. The top of the 9th, and they started to score, and they just beat them. They went ahead of them after holding that. But I wasn't angry. I wasn't angry because I said to myself, hey, they did good. They did good. As long as they keep up a good pace, they'll be okay. But they're still in first place, and that's all I care about.
Baltimore Orioles are going to stay on their heels. I think they're going to be going back and forth for first place in their division. I see.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And
American League, yeah.
let's get on our knees and pray for the Mets and the Giants. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Which they won today. Which is good.
Yeah,
But they need to put on a winning streak. And get back into playoff contention. We still got time to. We didn't even hit the All-Star break yet.
yeah.
So,
Well, I'm not. I'm not going to relax. I know the Yankees are doing good, but I'm not going to relax because anything could happen.
anything can happen.
I've seen it done before.
Injuries, a little pop of a hamstring, or anything could happen. But we don't want to wish that. But just got to be careful. Baseball is twists and turns where you're up one day and then the roof will fall right on you. But we're not wishing that. We just want to have everybody at full strength.
What I'm wishing is that they bring baseball back to where it was before. And we talked about that before. I can't remember the team the Yankees played. I think it was Minnesota. And they were on the road in Minnesota. And they had one of the games they played, they had a kids' day. It was Children's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And they got to eat hot dogs for $1.
Oh,
$1 for the kids. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about. That's good marketing. If you want to bring young people back to baseball, that's how you have to market.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Because there's too many bad stuff that's going on in baseball between the states and the gambling and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to bring the crowd, the people back to the ballparks, especially the young kids, you gotta do these here things, these here special promotions and everything.
It'd be great. It would be great. And speaking of gambling and baseball, I'm still rooting for Pete Rose to get his due. I know it's been a long time. They're just not forgiving to him. I don't know what.
I know.
Yeah. I guess now it's just too much of it now. Maybe this is a bad time for even Pete. Yeah. Because they're saying, okay, just too much of this is going around. They may even blame this on Pete Rose, the constant gambling, which I doubt.
If you put Pete Rose in, then you got to put Barry Bonds into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Keep your fingers crossed. See what happens. Okay, Brian, we'll be back tomorrow. Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Okay, that'll be good. We look forward to seeing you then.
All right, take care.
Take care. That's Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And of course, he's here each week at this time, bringing us developments in the world of sports. That's the name of this show, called Sports Update. And of course, you could always ask him questions. If you didn't get a chance to ask him, you could probably ask him now. He's probably still lingering. And, if you have any questions about sports or anything that we're talking about sports, feel free. You could do that at any time. And he will, as he already said, be back here tomorrow morning. We have another show here. Those of you who are joining us for the first time, we have two shows. We have this show, Talk Back Live, plus we have tomorrow's show that comes on every Friday between 10 and 11 a.m. Eastern, which is called the Coffee Hour. And he's going to be here for that as well. So we got a lot to look forward to. And then, after all of that, the weekend is over. The weekend is coming, and it's a long weekend, and everybody's going to go into hibernation. A lot of people are making moves now to their destination for the holiday. And here we are. It's Thursday, and people are traveling now. I saw in the news today they had to cancel some flights in New York because of that storm that they had. There were a lot of delayed flights, and there were more delayed flights than there were canceled flights, but unfortunately, that's the case. But I'm pretty sure they're back on track at this particular time now, where people could make it and do whatever they have to do. This is the time too. Traveling time. This is the traveling time when everybody is like bunched up together. I mean, it's like hard to get around because everybody's moving at the same time. They're trying to get to the airports. Traffic is snarled all over the place. and they just can't get there. Whatever your plans are, and if you're doing some flying, I hope that you have had the foresight to know that, you know, you have to do it like well in advance so you can get yourself a seat on a plane or something. Everybody is traveling. Everybody has the same idea. And they're going again for the weekend to do whatever they're going to do for the weekend. But this is the time where people are traveling. So I hope that wherever you're going, if you're doing some traveling, I hope that I wish you a lot of luck. I wish you a lot of luck. Okay, I think it's about that time. And it's that time on this day in history to go back in time, because back in time in 1911, New York Public Library building at Fifth Avenue was dedicated by President William Howard Taft. On this day in history in 1922, Walt Disney incorporates his first film company, Laugh-O-Gram Films. On this day in history in 1953, WHIZ-TV, Channel 18 in Zanesville, Ohio, that's an NBC-ABC station, begins broadcasting. Back in 1980, the horror film The Shining, starring Jack Nicholson, Here's Johnny, and Shelley Duvall was released. In 1992, US President George H.W. Bush orders Coast Guard to intercept boats with Haitian refugees. In 2007, American singer-songwriter Paul Simon receives Liberty of Congress Gershwin Prize at the Warner Theater in Washington, D.C. In 2022, US President Joe Biden says for the first time, he would be willing to use force to defend Taiwan against Chinese invasion. Actor Douglas Fairbanks, that's the father, Douglas Fairbanks Sr., was born on this day in 1883. He was born in Denver, Colorado. He died December 12th, 1939, at the age of 56 years old from a heart attack. On this day in history, 1920, band leader Artie Shaw was born in New York City. He died 2004. And on this day in history, 1912, actor John Payne was born in Roanoke, Virginia, and he was born there. He died in 1989. And on this day in history, in 1919, stage and screen comedian, singer, dancer, and actress Betty Garrett. Betty Garrett was born in St. Joseph, Missouri. She died in 2011. Those of you who do not know who Betty Garrett is, let me explain something to you younger people. She's a legendary actor. She played Irene on All in the Family. Good night, Irene. In 1920, big band singer Helen O'Connell was born in Lima, Ohio. She died in 1993. In 1920, actor Sid Melt from Green Acres and the Danny Thomas Show was born in Brooklyn, New York. He died in 2011. On this day in history, 1928, singer Rosemary Clooney was born in Maysville, Kentucky, and she died in 2002. Also, actress Joan Collins was born on this day in 1933 in London, England. She's 90 years old today. Actor, comedian Drew Carey was born on this day in 1958 in Cleveland, Ohio, at the age of 65. That's what he is. He's 65 today. Happy birthday. Singer-songwriter Jewel Kilcher was born on this day in 1974 in Payson, Utah. She's 49 years old today. Back in 1953, John F. Kennedy's sister Eunice Kennedy weds activist and attorney Sargent Shriver at the St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. And on this day in history, 1970, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry weds heiress Julia Stimson Thorne. In 1992, actress Angelica Houston, she weds sculptor Robert Graham. In 2004, singer-guitarist Michelle Branch weds musician Teddy Landu in Mexico, and they got divorced in 2015. In 2016, actress Amber Heard files for divorce from Johnny Depp. John D. Rockefeller died on this day in 1937 at the age of 97 years old. He was born July 8th, 1839 in Richford, New York. In 1981, stage and screen actor, singer, George Jessel, they call him Georgie Jessel. He dies of a heart attack at the age of 83 years old. In 1986, actor Sterling Hayden dies at 70. In 1994, jazz guitarist Joe Pass dies from liver cancer at the age of 65 years old. In 1996, Captain Jack McCarthy. He's a television broadcaster. If you remember him in New York, he used to do the St. Patrick's Day parade. He also did that kiddie show. And I grew up with him as a kid when he did Popeye. He used to host a Popeye show, and he died of cancer. And finally, Roger Moore, actor Roger Moore, died on this day in 2017 at the age of 89 years old. And he was born October 14th in 1927 in London, England. So that's what's happening all around in this area of on this day in history. Now, if you know anything that's happening on this day in history, of course, we want you to be part. And we want you to tell us about it, because I may have skipped over something or may not have been aware of something. You know, that could happen. And if you know of anything right off the top of your head, let us know and type it in there. I will see you. And then, of course, we'll convey it to everyone else. Although who's ever in the room right now will see it anyway, but I will orally convey it myself. So we thank you so much for being with us. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. We're talking back live to you as you talk to us. And of course, so we're going to be with you for the remaining of the hour. And of course, again, if you have any comments to make or want to talk about anything in particular, please feel free. Now, we always like you to talk because we want to acknowledge you, but there's a way you can get in touch with me too as well, in case you don't want to talk here. And you can talk to me by email or telephone or something, leave a message or something. I have two sources. I have an email address and a telephone number. You can get in touch with me. I am available for that. All you have to do is be proactive. And let me give you that email address first. The email address is frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Now, the telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Remember, when you email, remember Allan is ALLAN, and Prod is PROD. That's short for production. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Now, when you email me or call me, you may want to do it for a purpose. Maybe just to say hi, or maybe you want to critique the show, or maybe you have ideas that you want to implement, and we could certainly listen to you on that. You never know. It may happen. You know, all you have to do is just let us know, or anything. Or if you have a birthday coming up, or you want to announce a bar mitzvah, or you want to announce something, you want us to say something, please feel free. And but if you have an event coming up and you want us to talk about it, give us a notice ahead, right? This way, so we can have it when we come on next week. Okay, so please do that. Keep the information with you wherever you go. That's usually in your cell phone, right? Because that's the logical place to keep everything. You know, you want to take it around everywhere you go. You take everywhere you go is right there in that cell phone or your computer. Okay, so keep that information with you. So let me give you that email address once again. It's frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Telephone number once again, 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. I will be looking forward to hearing from you. At the top of the show, we talked about this long holiday weekend that's coming up, which is called Memorial Day, and we salute all of our military people. But here's something. if you live in New York, in the vicinity of New York City, they are celebrating, since this is Memorial Day holiday weekend, they're celebrating Fleet Week. Now, you New Yorkers know all about Fleet Week, but let me explain to the people who live elsewhere that may not be aware of Fleet Week. You see, each year at this time, just before Memorial Day, the ships come in with all of the military people, the Marines and the Navy, and they come sailing in to port, you know, from the Hudson River on the west side of Manhattan. They just come sailing in, which is a sight for a lot of people who live in New York City, and they like to see that. And they come sailing in, and they have this one ship, right, that looks like, if you've ever been to Las Vegas, and there's a hotel called the Bellagio, and they have a water show, right? But this ship that passes by as it sails, it just spews out water all over the place. It's like a water show, kind of. And you have those ships, and there are a lot of ships. The sailors be coming in, and they dock, and they're going to stay here for a whole week. They come ashore, and I guess they have that freedom to do whatever they want to do. They go into bars and restaurants and things like that, but they're here for the whole week. And this is the 36th anniversary of Fleet Week. And I think they sailed in on Wednesday, which I think is the 22nd, right? They sailed in on, was it Tuesday or Wednesday? Which, yesterday, as a matter of fact. Yesterday was the 22nd, which was Wednesday, and they sailed in, and they docked in. And so now all the festivities are taking place, and you can be part of it too, because I have a few things here that I could talk about. They're going to be here through the 28th, which is next Tuesday. So Fleet Week is from now to the 28th. And we know that the 27th is Memorial Day, so we'll have that extra day to hang around in New York City. And you know, Times Square, they have free concerts and demonstrations throughout this whole week. I have an itinerary here. Now, there may be other things, other events that happen, except, you know, maybe more than what I'm reading here, but this is what I have right now. Now here, today is the 23rd, and I think as we speak right now, they're there over there at the U.S. Navy, the U.S. Navy are here, right? They're here with the Marines. Okay, they're all here, and the U.S. Navy. I think they call the guards. I don't know. Anyway, they're ceremonial. There's this U.S. Navy ceremonial guard, and they're taking, and it's happening right now because the hours are from 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. What is it? It's 8:47 here in New York right now, right? It's 8:47 here in New York right now. So it's still going on right now. So if you're out in that area, maybe if you live in that area, you could see something going on there. Anyway, they're having their ceremonies there right now from 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. tonight. And tomorrow, May 24th, the Navy Band Northeast Brass Band is going to be performing. And it's all in the same place. They say the Times Square. I think it's the Times Square area. And they're going to be performing between 7:30 p.m. and 7:50 p.m. And following that, it's the U.S. Fleet Force Rock Band. That sounds like fun. And they're going to be performing from 8 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. And the following day, which is Saturday, right? Because today's the 23rd, tomorrow's the 24th, so Saturday's the 25th. So it's going to be the Marine Corps Band performing, and they're going to be performing at 7:30 p.m. to 7:50 p.m. And then again, the U.S. Fleet Force Rock Band comes back again from 8 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. So there's a lot to celebrate, and it's all right here on Fleet Week in New York City. So if you happen to be in New York City right now, you're a tourist, you got a lot to see. And you're going to see a lot of military people walk the streets. You're going to see them in restaurants. You're going to see them in bars. They just want to hang out and cut loose and be themselves for a while. And of course, you know, they're going to be in uniforms. And of course, you know, as I said, it'd be great if you can just talk to them and greet them and say hello, welcome to New York, to Fleet Week, and have a good time, and give them a salute and tell them how much you appreciate them, because we're celebrating, Fleet Week and National Military Month. It's all here. Appreciation Month, and it's all here, and we're celebrating all of that. So you have all of those things coming along, and we hope that you have a good time on Fleet Week, watching all the ships come in and all of the great performances. On tomorrow on the coffee hour, I will be doing that all over again. For the people who are not here on Talkback Live and they're here on the coffee hour, we'll get a chance to repeat all of that information once again. So that's what's happening. So there's a lot that happening on Memorial Day holiday weekend. It's a long weekend and a lot to do. And speaking of that long weekend may coach you to maybe check out some movies you haven't seen in a long time, or those classic movies, because each week at this time, I always bring you those classic movies. I go to Turner Classic Movies and take my picks of the week for your weekend. And since this is a long weekend, you have plenty of time. And today I have 5 movies that I think you may be interested in. Okay, so let's get started right away. First one is called The Producers, back in 1968, with Zero Mostel and Gene Wilder. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's on Friday at 6:15 p.m. Eastern. That's a decent hour, right? That's coming up. And then we have the Caine Mutiny. Now, this is a great military movie. Since we're into the military season, right? We're here and celebrating the Memorial Day holiday weekend as well. Couldn't think of a more appropriate movie to watch. Plus, it's a classic. I love it. 1954 with Humphrey Bogart, Jose Ferrer, and Van Johnson. Caine Mutiny, and that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can check that out. That's Friday. That's Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And everything I give you, all the times I give you, is always Eastern. So you can check that out too. Here's a classic, nothing to do with military, but it's musical, it's fun, it's funny. It's called Thank You, Lucky Stars, or Thank Your Lucky Stars, from 1943. It stars the legendary Eddie Cantor. You have Dennis Morgan and Joan Leslie. It's a nice black and white movie going back in time. That's on Turner Classic Movies. That's Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And here's another military movie. It's a fun movie called Mr. Rogers. Not Mr. Rogers, that's somebody else. Mr. Roberts. And this goes back to 1955. Who's in it? Brian, are you out there listening? You got Henry Fonda, Jack Lemmon, and Brian's favorite, James Cagney, right? Mr. Roberts, 1955, and that's Turner Classic Movies. You can check that out. That's on Sunday, this coming Sunday at 7:45 a.m. So I don't know if you want to get up that early, but if you are up that early, you could check it out. Or you can DVR some of these movies, DVR them, right? They're fun to do that. And you can watch them all at your very own convenience. Now, being that this is the holiday, you may not want to sit back and watch movies. You may be entertaining. So DVR all of them. Watch them all later at your own convenience. And we're not finished with military movies. There's another one that I like so much. It's called Dirty Dozen, 1967. Lee Marvin, Ernest Borgnine, and Charles Bronson. And by the way, Jim Brown is in this movie too. And a few more. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's on Sunday at 2:15 p.m. Eastern. I think you'll like it. It's a great movie. They're all right there. Now, I always advise you to also go to Turner Classic Movies and go to the program guide. And the reason why I send you there is because there may be other movies that I didn't mention, only because these are my picks of the week. But there may be other movies that may tickle your fancy. And you say, oh, wow, something, I haven't seen that one in a long time. It looks like a good movie. I'll try it. And you can do that too. That's why I always send you there, fair game. And you go there and check it out. And while you're there on demand, go to those free movies. There's a lot of great free movies there. You can check it out for yourself. Movies from A to Z, right down the line. And all you have to do is you got all day. You can check them out as many as you want. And, do The only thing is that you can't record them because they're right there for you. So all you have to do is just watch them. But there are movies that maybe you haven't seen in a while, movies that jog your memory. And some of the movies date back to 30s or 40s or 50s, 60s, 70s, and they just bump them up. But they're right there for you to watch. Comedies, dramas, horrors, all of that, right there, free movies. And of course, on demand, you also have the pay-per-view movies. Now, you have those movies too. Movies and the movies that are in the theater at this moment, right, where you can actually go to the theater and watch them, but you could stay home, save the money, and watch them right there at your own time. You can pop your own popcorn in the microwave and watch those movies, you know. They're right there. Of course, you have to pay a little more than the movies that you will see. They're also pay-per-view movies that were once in the theater, but they're lingering right now. They were in the theater not too long ago, but they're lingering right now. So you pay a little less than the ones that are in the movies presently. Nevertheless, it's right there for you, and it's right there for you to enjoy. And there are all kinds of great things. There are great sporting events. If you don't get the chance to see them in real time, you can go the following day, and they run those sporting events right there. And sometimes without commercials. Sometimes, not all the time. So if you see some with commercials, I'm just saying some because I discovered that sometimes they'll run commercials and sometimes they won't. But there's sporting events that you missed. If let's say, for instance, you go to ABC and you lost, or maybe one of the other networks that have soap operas and you missed yours for the day, well, you can catch it out. Whatever was played today, you can catch it out tomorrow to catch up on things, right? They're all right there. You have a lot of kiddie programs, documentaries. You like Lifetime movies? I love Lifetime movies. They're scary sometimes, but I love them. And they're right there. And all you have to do is just go right there. It's right there for the asking. So please go there, do that, and check it out. You don't have to tell anyone I sent you because there's nobody going to be there. No one is going to be there to say, well, who sent you? You go right there. I just direct you right there and you go and do that. So those are my picks of the week for your weekend. And I am going to give you those movies once again because I think you'll enjoy it. I know you'll enjoy it. I can almost guarantee you'll enjoy these movies. These are my picks of the week. Again, there are only 5 of them I picked this week. Here we are, The Producers, starring Zero Mostel and G. Wilder. The producer, that's The Producers, and that's Turner Classic Movies. It's a color movie, musical, and Turner Classic Movies. That's Friday at 6:15 p.m. Eastern. Then you have the Kane Mutiny, Humphrey Bogart, Jose Ferrer, and Van Johnson. That's on Turner Classic Movies, and that's on Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And Thank Your Lucky Stars with Eddie Cantor, Dennis Morgan, and Joan Leslie. That's on Turner Classic Movies right there too as well. And you can check that out. That's Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. We have, okay, the final one is, no, that's not the final one. The next one is Mr. Roberts with Henry Fonda, Jack Lemmon, and James Cagney. That's on Turner Classic Movie as well. And you have that, that's Sunday at 7:45 a.m. Eastern. Again, you can DVR them if they're too early for you. And then The Dirty Dozen with Lee Marvin, Ernest Borgnine, and Charles Bronson. And I'm going to stick Jim Brown in there as well. He's one of my favorite guys. And that's Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 2:15 p.m. Eastern. I think you're going to like all of these movies. It won't hurt you to try them. They're good, and you can watch them all for free. It's right there for your convenience. And I hope you will like them. You know, you can't beat them, you know. And just let me know next week when you come back how you like these movies. And we just keep doing them each week for your convenience. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up things for today for me. I had a good time. I hope you did too, as usual. We're going to be back here tomorrow. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern for the coffee hour. And I am going to be here. Ryan Camper is going to be here with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. He's got that for you, and I hope you will be here too. But if you can't make it tomorrow, which I'm hoping that you will, make it back here next week for more of Talk Back Live. And that's starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, and it's right here. And Brian Camp will be here with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update, and of course, you'll be here too. Ladies and gentlemen, until I see you next week, have yourself a great weekend. If I will see you tomorrow, I'm going to bid you a great weekend and a long holiday weekend, and I hope that you enjoy. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host Frank Allen. The producer is Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.